Colin, a guy who worked for us, he would judge. Oh, that's a 2003 CRV with 200,000 miles. They ain't going to spend 1,500 on that. That guy lives in this area. He's not going to spend money on that. I find that the guy with the '03 CRV, that's my car, by the way, with 200,000 miles. So he'll spend $1,500 on it. But then the guy with the BMW, he wants me to put bottom of the barrel Prinks Maxxis tires on it because he's just trying to look good. I've learned not to judge the customer. Man, woman, nationality, doesn't matter. I present the information the same.
Welcome to Downshift with my sis, Tonnika Haynes. We all know as shop owners, sometimes you got to slow down in order to speed up. And that's what this podcast is all about. It's time to downshift.
How did you guys meet? Because you two should not be in the same room ever.
Well, that's a good topic. We met on the ASOG
dating site.
Yeah, the ASOG dating site.
Yeah. No, she saw how tall I was, and he thought that he liked that, so he was like, "Hey, big head."
Oh, so it's a romance.
Exactly. He's not lying. Look at him.
Yeah, he's blushing and crap.
I know, right?
Oh, crap.
That's your boo. So really, you just met on ASOG.
So yeah, one of the posts was up, and it was when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and I think I said something about the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, or something came up, and then the Philly area connection came up, and that's how we started talking.
No, I think it was when I first moved shop, and I was just like, I took a picture of something and had an Eagles picture. And then, freaking clown over here, he got excited. Oh my God, the Eagles.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then, he slid in my DM. And
our relationship grew from there.
Yeah, and then,
Do your wives know about this? I mean, is this...
Oh, yeah, they know.
About the bromance?
Yeah, they know.
Poor ladies.
And I found out, he's an hour away from me. After him sliding my DM for a while, I end up being in his area one day, and he showed up in this piece of shit Cadillac.
You're
That's
laughing,
good,
but this is normal. This is light for him.
Like, you're so weird. First of all, well, let's get started because we have to let the audience know who you are. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Nick.
My name is Nick Yannessa.
And?
Oh, you wanted more. Oh, okay. So I'm in the process of launching a new shop called Autofficina Complete Auto Care. Basically, Autofficina means auto repair shop in Italian. So it's a nod to our heritage. And we wanted something different. I have a partner in it. We wanted something different that wasn't just initials or quality, efficient, our name, anything like that. We wanted something that was not tied to us, but something unique that could be branded.
Okay, that's cool. Did you work at a shop before? I feel like you...
Oh, yes.
So, what's the backup?
So my dad has been in the automotive business. He had a shop since he was 19 or 20 years old, something like that. He's been working on cars his whole life, even as a kid in the driveway. And he said he got to start his own shop. And then eventually he had a couple different repair shops. He had a gas station. And then he got out of the gas business because that it wasn't a good time to be in the gas business in the 80s, 90s, because that's when like the mini marts and the Wawas and the big places were taken over. So then he moved to just a repair shop. And then he decided he didn't want to have his own business for like a couple of years and work for a couple of people. He worked at a body shop, worked at a restoration shop. And then I think he even sold like campers or something, but he hated that. So then he started another shop that's where kind of me and Chi come in, called Wheels in Motion. He started off wanting to do just like hot rods and detailing. At the time, the hot rod business just wasn't working, and so he branched back into general repair. And then later on, he always wanted to do body work and have a body shop. So in our town, the Chevy dealer closed up. And he bought the body shop building, and we had two shops.
There's a difference between running an auto repair shop and building one. Running your shop means keeping up with daily demands. Building your business means putting the right systems in place. Systems your team can count on and a customer experience that keep people coming back. Techmetric is built for shops thinking long term, shop management, payments, and marketing in one platform. So nothing slips through the cracks and your operation is smooth. Less piecing things together, more running the business you set out to build. Check it out at techmetric.com or tap the link in the show notes. We already know what to do. We've been to the trainings, paid for the coaching, learned the right way to inspect cars, build estimates, and talk to our customers. That's not the problem. The problem is consistency, because some days it only works when the right person is working. And when they're not, it's a whole different shop. So now you're stuck in that cycle. You need a strong team to run a great shop, but you need a great shop to attract a strong team. Make it make sense. That's why I rock with Detect Auto. Detect Auto streamlines your service processes with automations that save time, increase maintenance sales, and improve productivity without changing your whole system. It plugs in, guides your team through inspections, recommendations, and even customer communication. Now, that's not just based on memory or mood, that's how a shop runs. And let me tell you, I've been using it for over a year now. My ARO is up 63%. That's not new knowledge. That's just consistency. If you're tired of your shop depending on who showed up today, go check out Detect Auto. Book a demo.
And then we were actually able to combine the shop into the building that was the main Chevrolet dealership's main dealership building. And we had a body shop and a repair shop all in one big building. And we did auto repair, we did, general repair, we did classic cars, we did detail and accessories, collision work, restoration. We kind of did everything. And then as my dad wanted to get closer to retirement, we kind of phased out the classic car work a little bit. It was hard to serve two masters because Tonnika needs her Honda to go back and forth to work, and she wants his, classic Mustang for the first car show. How do you keep both people happy? And then it got to a time where my dad wanted to retire. And I'll be honest, me and my dad's relationship wasn't the best in business. It was hard to, and we could probably have a whole deep dive in that because I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah.
you worked with your father.
Same. Yeah.
There was a lot of, just, and I think what it was is, I'm a millennial. I'll be 38 at the end of the month. My father's 67. I just think it was just generational, and what worked for him worked, and I respect it 100%. But, to be competitive in 2025, 26, whatever, the 1985 playbook isn't working no more, respectfully.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I couldn't afford to buy the shop on my own. And I wasn't going to get the help from him to buy it. Again, that's a whole nother. But so my cousins had a shop. I ended up merging with them, and I was there a year and a half with them. And I'll be honest, it did not work out.
Family's not always the easiest to work with.
Well, you know what it is, and I can't really go into that part of it because it's still active with
Yeah.
things that are going on. But I went into it with certain intentions, and I don't think everybody was on the same page. Where I'm an honest person, as you see with me and Chi, we talk about how our feelings. Hey Nick, do you like my car? No, I think it's ugly. You hear him? He called my Cadillac a POS. But when people go into it with different intentions, it can be disheartening. So in December, I was kind of forced to leave. As far as that goes, it just wasn't a good situation. Could I have stayed? Yeah, but mentally, it was like I'm over it, and
Yeah.
that's how the new shop came up. It was kind of doing it on the fly, but I've been doing it my whole life. I know what I'm doing. Just kind of getting all the pieces put together. We're not open yet, but God willing, we'll be open soon and get back to work. This shop, though, we're not going to be doing auto repair, or I'm sorry, collision work. We're going to be doing just auto repair. And then I'll be doing like the accessories, like the tonneau covers, wheels, little bolt-on stuff, and then detail it. So we're not going to do body work on this go around.
Cool.
But that's kind of my brief history. I went to Northampton Community College for automotive, and then I went to Pace University in New York City for business. And then, of course, I've been in the automotive business my whole life.
Gee, what about you? Your shop's what? How old is your shop? 10, 16 years old?
It's going on 16 years.
16. How'd you get
16.
started?
Fed up at the dealer.
Got fed up with the dealer. Well, how long have you been in the industry? Let's start all the way back when?
In dinosaur age, according to my kids. But
Yeah.
like since I was 18. So pretty much 2000. That's when I started tech school.
Okay.
But I was tinkering with cars already, and from there went to work at Firestone. Almost made me quit the business.
Mm.
Just hard
Why? I mean, what about Firestone almost made you quit?
management. Flat rate times were horrible. Like you would work there the whole weekend, make 45 hours, but you were there for 10 hours a day for 5 days. So yeah, and yeah. Regardless,
Yeah.
anyway, that's
Math
the
ain't mathin', right?
Math ain't
yeah,
mathing.
that's the only job I ever walked out of in my life.
Wow. And so for
Anyway,
Firestone, what you do next?
I took a 2 month vacation.
You must have been rolling in some dough to take a 2-month vacation, or you just run around broke.
No, pretty much. You're 23 years old.
Oh, you didn't have no daggone
Yeah,
responsibilities. Yeah. Like
yeah,
when you quit Firestone and walked out, were you walking out on the industry or you just walking out on Firestone?
I walked out on Firestone, but I was really considering walking out the industry. So, as I was actually thinking about what to do with my life after 2 months, I got a phone call from the Honda dealer that I applied to like eons ago.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go back to school, forget it. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it was a blessing or a curse,
We'll
but
find
yeah.
out. Well, it looks like it's a blessing. You got your shot for 16 years. So how long did you work for Honda?
I was there for 7 years.
Oh,
I'll be honest with you, I loved the job
right.
until somebody decided to play games. And I was like, this is not working.
Like in
Dealership
management.
politics.
Okay.
Not management directly, but yes, in a sense. And I was just like, hey, this is not right. I was like, your life's almost being controlled by one person, not because of my skill set or me. So I was like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should. I was 29 at that point, so I'm like, hey, no, maybe I should try it.
The shop, did you build it from scratch or was it already established and you
Yep,
bought it?
yep. It actually happened out of nowhere. I was looking. I was like, I wonder how much is to rent a shop. Back then we were still using Craigslist,
Mhm.
and I found a spot. Yeah, near actually not too far from me, and I was like, this seems too good to be true. You like the price, the size of the shop, and I ended up looking at it, and I was like, oh wow, this could actually work.
Okay.
And next thing you know, you know, I was like learning how to put it all together. And of course, that's another fiasco, from buying Ranger tire machines. I think you know that mistake.
Yeah, you
Uh,
gotta buy all the cheap equipment and you look for more equipment on Craigslist and all that good stuff.
yeah,
But you gotta start
yeah,
somewhere, right?
yeah. It was, and not also coming from a dealer where I was just working Hondas all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly you're working on like a Chevy, and you're like, okay,
I don't know
you
about
know,
that one.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a learning curve, really
Yeah.
learning curve.
What about the management side of it? Did you have employees or was it just
Uh,
you, one man show?
well, at first, I had my brother-in-law helping me out at the desk, and he wasn't coming for the automotive. He just needed something to do.
Mhm.
He was there for a little bit. I mean, he did okay. And then I had an employee. I mean, like we worked together, and it was good until it wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't always just blame on him. It was also me. Not knowing how to handle employees. You're more like a friend,
Mhm.
and from there you kind of learn, but at the same time you still, because I tell people, you go suddenly from a tech to being HR, business management. You got to know about
Accounting,
account.
marketing,
Yeah,
all of the
exactly.
stuff. Yep.
Janitor.
Janitor,
Janitor.
maintenance.
Right,
Everything.
everything. So it's really, you could be the best tech ever, but I tell people it doesn't matter if you don't, you can't handle other aspects of the business. It's just not gonna work. And I'm always straight up honest. So I was in that first location for 5 years. I mean, I did pretty well, honestly. Dude, like I did not know crap. I actually did pretty well. So I decided I needed a bigger shop.
Well, how big was the first shop?
it wasn't small. I mean, I had two lifts in there, but I could park six cars in there if I squeezed it
Oh,
in.
okay.
Well, that was a decent size. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't horrible, but my main thing was I wanted an alignment rack. Really, I just knew how much that would help. So I kept on asking my landlord if he was gonna retire, and he said no. So I started looking. So it doesn't help that at the same time, a friend of mine at that point, he was a body guy, wanted to start a body shop. So I'm like, hey, we should look for a place together. Like what happened to Nicholas.
Yeah.
And because in Philly area, it's really hard to get a paint booth license. So it has to be grandfathered in.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So for an odd reason, I found a place. It
Not
was
an odd
huge.
reason. That's a blessing.
Yeah, not really. Well,
You don't know. I don't know about that.
hindsight wasn't a blessing.
Not that time.
So it was 8,000 square feet.
Okay.
It was a huge shop. I was still on the younger side. I was 34. You know, so you're a little more too confident. I would say. Yeah, I'll admit it. I'm like, I'm going to make this work. You know, we ended up signing the lease together. I told him, hey, this is how we got to do things. I'm going to help you out, this and that. I mean, off the bat, it was just like, because my mentality, I'm a businessman, and his mentality wasn't. So, long story short, it was a rough 5 years.
Oh, you stayed in that situation for 5 years?
Yes, I had no choice but to.
Oh,
But
okay.
at the same time, I tried to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I had some success. I started actually learning more about management. Like that's actually when I forced me because the old shop, the overhead was so low that I could literally be a dumbass and survive. But because of now, I have triple the amount of overhead. I couldn't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I started like really learning management, and that was like a light bulb moment. I'm like, oh my god, this is it doesn't matter how good we fix the cars. People don't know. They don't care, right?
Right.
And
So, where did you learn your management stuff from? Or did you
uh,
seek out help that way?
believe it or not, I actually started watching Gary V. I know people know who he is before he was even popular. I started watching Gary V in like 2013, 2014. Another one that nobody really talks about is Marcus Lemonis.
I
Yeah,
like
I
him.
mean,
I like
yeah,
him.
yeah, the show The Prophet. So I was watching on TV, right?
Love that show.
And I was like, look at these dumbasses. They're stupid as hell. And I'm like,
Yep.
oh, never
You're the
mind.
dumbass. You're stupid as hell.
So that's when I started implementing stuff. And, and then one day, I don't know if I could name this company. They walked into my door. We all know this company. Dutch is a Dutch favorite company.
Say it. This is my podcast. Shit.
Oh shit! Well, I don't want to get you in trouble.
You can get me in
Start
trouble
with
with who?
I don't know. Start with an A. You know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
Capital A.
Okay. It
That's,
starts
that's
with
a,
an A.
yeah, yeah. Dutch's favorite company. But anyway, they walked in, and I'm in a position of like, it's like my bank account's constantly at flat. It's like money in, money out, money in, money out. But I don't see anything. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I was barely getting paid. You know, and I was like, all right, something got to change. So I went to the free class, right?
Right.
And I was like, all right, it made some stuff made sense. And then they visited, and offered me, hey, how about you take a 2 month free ride with it? I'm like, at that point, I'm like, dude, what I gotta lose, because I'm like, I'm not getting nowhere. I took the ride, I mean, it did help some, but at the end of the day, a lot of the things they were teaching end up actually hurting my business
Okay.
because it just doesn't work. And as time went on, I met more people that went through that same program, like Carmen Ganado, you know, um, and we actually had the same exact coach,
Mhm.
and we're just like talking like. You were told the same exact thing. I'm like, yeah, I was told the same exact thing. And I just put two and two together. And it's funny, the more people I met that went through the same thing, we all resonate that we were told the same things. And I'm like, you know what? effed
What
up.
were the things that hurt? Like, what were the
Yeah.
things that they?
Well, they kept pushing for like shop supplies. So, I'm not totally against shop supplies, but they kept pushing to the point of just like, dude, I'm getting pushback. You get what I'm saying? I'm getting
Yeah,
pushback
like
between them.
your shop supplies are X% and they told you to raise it by a multiple of what?
It was like 8% something. So the affiliate sales tax is 8% of it. At this time, I was in Philly still.
Mhm.
So people are looking at the bill. They see, let's say, a $500 bill. So they see $40 shop supplies. So 540 plus 8% on top of that. So I started noticing, like at one point, you know, um, my card count was declining so fast that I'm like, dude, something's going on,
Do you
Uh,
think your customers are going back and talking about you?
Uh,
Because
I'm
you
pretty
get a lot
sure.
of clients through word of mouth. So the word of mouth
Yeah,
probably not
yeah,
so good at that point.
I'm pretty sure. And I mean, like Tonnika, I was trying everything. I mean,
Right.
like, you know, um, and actually, ASOC. When I found out about ASOC, actually helped a lot.
Same.
And so, like, I met a lot of people in ASOC. A lot of people I talk to daily, like Andrew Lee. I don't know. Like both of us as being Chinese, and we could resonate on a lot
Oh,
of things.
wait a
Like a
minute.
lot
Hold
of,
on. You're Chinese?
yeah, I'm Chinese. What do you think I am?
I didn't know
Oh,
that either.
I thought you was
I'm just
black.
finding that. Yeah, right.
no, 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 I'm Italian douchebag. Buongiorno. But anyway, so we resonate on a lot, and we started talking, and we talk like damn near every day. I
hmm
mean, there's like Nicholas, Carmen, like it's a great thing, like yeah, of course there's some people that don't like me, they think I'm a jackass, whatever.
So
But
you got to talk to them.
yeah, I know, but
Can you
but
imagine how many people don't like me? I love it. Don't like me.
I care less. I care less. Listen, like I tell people all the time, if you don't like what I say, whatever, But hey, I say some horrible things to Nick, like
And
I
he
think it's
forgives
funny
you
though.
for it.
but here's my thing, right? I'm very straightforward. Like, if you tell me, hey, shit, you're a douchebag, and I'm like, oh, well, can you emphasize why am I a douchebag? So I could be like, hey, are you correct? And you're probably doing me a favor. That's how I look at it. Because if you don't care, or you're like, hey, you let the guy die, okay, you, it's just like with Nicholas. With I don't know if you're cool with it, but like when he
Yeah,
ran the old shop, you know, and he was telling me his numbers, right? And I'm laughing my ass off. I'm like, dude, how are you only doing these numbers with two texts and you up front? I'm like, I'm like, I'm here by myself, and you see me harassing you all day long, and I'm beating your numbers every single week.
But that's good. That's good. That's a good friendship because you got to think about it. Same thing for me. Got into ASOG, meeting other people. People just don't know what they don't know. So they don't have any other things to compare it with. Especially if you're not in coaching and this is new to you and you don't have anybody or any other shop to talk to about these things. So I think that's the important aspect of people like you finding each other in these social media groups and whatever, and meeting each other in the DMs and having these conversations because you making fun of Nick, like, dude, you broke. And you're like, he can take a second look. It's like, oh man, why? I thought I was doing good. Maybe I can do better. It's not really to pick on him, but if that's just the way you guys talk to each other, that is absolutely perfect. Because I talk to my automotive friends like that as well. But think about all the people that are out here trying to do it by themselves. It's like you've
Yeah.
got each other to bounce stuff off of.
Well,
And I
well,
think
Nick.
that's what's really important with the industry. We got to have more of these conversations in a space that's smaller than ASOC group because you don't want to get embarrassed by your questions, right? Because that can happen. You say something and people will attack you. But if you can find somebody you resonate with, like, okay, you're both in Pennsylvania, you both like whatever teams you like, poor things. And then you can build a relationship with that and you start to ask the questions or have the hard conversations. So I like it. I like your bromance. More people need the bromance in the automotive industry.
No, no,
She talking about us like she's a Panthers fan or something over here. Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed at this point, but I am.
So it is funny though. So to your point with what she's saying though is so with our shop, kind of I was explaining the structure. I was more ingrained in the body shop stuff, which I have helped Chi with storage, how to bill
Mhm.
more, how to do things when it's an insurance claim.
All the
Like
P pages and all of that stuff.
he,
I
he
don't miss that.
like
Yep.
he looked up like I remember him doing a steering rack on a Lexus and I looked it up on CCC and it paid 19 hours or something and he's all happy and giddy he's going to bill 11 or something like that and I'm like well CCC says this and this is included and blah 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 and we're kind of going over the stuff together and he's like what I was leaving my he was mad because he's leaving money on the table and then just the conversations, the scanning, and just certain conversations. This is what you got to say, Chi. This is what you got to do, and guiding those things through there. So to your point with the repair shop, my dad and our lead technician were running it. My dad was uninterested, didn't care. You know, the other guy that he working for us, very smart, he didn't try. He wasn't the upseller. He wasn't looking for stuff. And then when after the merger, he left because he was my dad's guy. He didn't want to work for me. He's one of those ones. It's funny when he say this. I'm 4 years younger than him, but he acts like I'm 12. You know what I mean?
No
And
respect there.
and then on top of it, he's one of those ones where because he's an excellent technician in his eyes, because Nick is not an excellent technician, he's not knowledgeable about this business. And he had the mentality, and so did my father to a point. If unless you're an excellent technician, you can't run this business. Where kind of like how we said before, you could be an excellent technician, and then Nick's just up front doing nothing. So like he's just sitting on the computer, but they don't realize fixing cars and fixing cars for money are two different aspects. So
Two different things.
here I'm thinking I'm running the body shop. I'm doing my thing. I'm doing well. And I'm thinking everything's handled over there. Well, then I get into it and start looking at stuff and she's opening up my eyes to some things. And then I'm on ASOG and kind of just going and I'm like, holy crap, this is terrible. And I try
Same.
bringing this stuff up to my dad. He don't want to hear it. And I'm like, all right, dad, numbers don't lie. It can be tomato. You like Goodyear. I like Michelin, whatever. We can argue about that stuff. But if I shove the invoices in your face, you can't lie about that. My dad
Right.
didn't want a shop management system. We had QuickBooks. It was inefficient. We wrote the work orders up by hand. Inefficient. Like there was so many inefficiencies here. But I was like, well, Dad, we should get Techmetric or even VIP. Well, I don't want to spend $100, $300, $500 a month on that.
But
But
it's
I'm
gonna
like,
make you 3,000.
but if you're saving, I just looked at it on the base. Our labor rate is X. This is this. So you don't think we can save 4 hours a month off of this? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was difficult. So Chi is diagnosing stuff from Ben Salem, as he likes to say. Nick, go look at that CRV that you just pulled in. See if the rear wipers ripped. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like all this little details. And like it's funny with Hondas, especially. Hey, this Honda, it needs a VVT solenoid. Like he would just know stuff from being a Honda guy. But even that, I was able, with a lot of cheese guidance, I'll give it to him, to make the repair shop more money without doing anything, without buying any equipment, without spending any money, just trying.
Just
And
trying.
kind of what she was saying, I was making money on accident. I think he was alluding to that earlier. I was just saying, hey, why don't we check the cabin air filter? Oh, it's dirty and has hair growing in it. Let's try to sell this. This is a good thing. Where those things weren't getting addressed. And it's just it wasn't anything wasn't we weren't recommending brakes, weren't trying to sell brakes at 630 seconds like the dealers were. It was like brakes were getting left at 330 seconds, tires were getting left at 330 seconds. Now in Pennsylvania we have state inspection, technically they pass, but why can't I have that conversation? Hey Chi, your brakes are at 330 second, do you want them fixed? Or now Leah, let's just get it done because I'm not coming back next month. Or now money's tight right now. I'll hit you next oil change. Cool.
But yeah,
But at
just have the
least
conversation. You leaving money on the table.
and Colin, a guy who worked for us, he would judge. He would judge. Oh, that's a 2003 CRV with 200,000 miles. They ain't going to spend 1,500 on that. That guy lives in this area. He's not going to spend money on that. But it's like I find that the guy with the '03 CRV, that's my car, by the way, with 200,000 miles. I got it for free from a customer. Great, being a great car. But so he'll spend $1,500 on it. But then the guy with the BMW, he wants me to put bottom of the barrel Prinks Maxxis tires on it because he's just trying to look good and he don't want to spend. He don't want to spend good, but he wants to look good.
Right.
So I've learned not to judge the customer, man, woman, doesn't nationality doesn't matter. I present the information the same. Now, if the car has a rusted hole in the frame, Tonnika, we can't fix this. We got to
it's
go.
time to let this one go, babe. Time to let it go.
Or like, hey, it's going to be 3,000 for bare minimum, and you still have issues. To your point, now there is, but I don't think with my wallet. I think with theirs, because Nick might say, you know what, that 200,000 mile CRV for 1,500. If that gets me another year, well, look at car payments. They're $500-600 a month. That's my sales pitch. So if you're $500 a month, that's $6,000 a year. So if I want two to fix your old CRV and it lasts another year, you made money or saved money, however you want to look at it.
You save money and you're safer, and it gives you time to plan for the next car instead of just throwing the whole baby away with the bathwater. Like,
so it's a win-win.
It's crazy, but like you said, people sell out of their own pocket or make assumptions about what people can and cannot do.
And then he was hourly. So what was the incentive?
Well, my guys are hourly too. But the thing is, when you're a technician and you're a technician of a certain age or a certain generation, it's possible that you just get stuck in your own mindset. And no matter what you said, he was not going to listen to that little boy Nick. Because like you said, he didn't respect you as the service advisor, as the manager, as the moneymaker.
And the problem is if my dad would have backed me up and went, hey, dude, this is a good thing we got going on here. But my dad and him had like a bromance, if you want to say bromance, where he didn't want to mess with his boy. You know what I mean? But it's like, but your boy is hurting your pocket. My pocket.
I don't think friendships and businesses can get along. I think it's a bad idea. Partnerships, friendships, having your buddy work for you, because like you said, your dad probably is sitting there now thinking, oh man, if I would, listen to Nick about 5-10 years ago, then I would have been in a better position. Well, too bad now, Daddy.
He won't admit that because he's a stubborn Italian, but I would like to think there is part of him in there that realizes.
You Italian?
Yes.
I thought you was black.
Maybe a little bit.
My bad. All right, carry on. I had to break the.
Yeah, you're good. But yeah, I get what you're saying though. It's just so I don't know if it's like the friendship. I don't know if it was just the right person. Where like if me and Chi worked together, either it would be beautiful or it would be a disaster. But at the same time, I think me and Chi could be the type where we would go at it and go, what the heck are you doing, Nick? Well, we got to sell more tires, da 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 da, and then we can be best friends in 5 minutes. And we've gone at it about
you
topics.
can push each other.
And we've gone at it about topics where we vehemently disagree with the topic. Like I like Cadillacs, he likes Hondas, and we will go at it. And I don't like Cadillacs anymore. It let me down.
It made me sad. But no, and that's important too, that you've got to find a bromance with someone in the automotive industry so you can do that and have the conversations. Because even if at the end you still kind of disagree, you have a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can like, okay, I don't agree 100% with what you said, but I can use a little bit of this.
And the difference is I noticed like he comes correct with his opinion, where one of the guys that worked with me recently, like one of the tire brands I like is Nokian tires. I like them for a lot of reasons. And he didn't like them because they weren't a name brand.
No, it's not that I didn't like them.
No, not you. I'm talking about the guy that worked with me. I'm talking about a guy that worked with me. I was like, so Pat, why don't you like them? I want to hear the reason. They chop, they wear funny, dry rot issues. Give me something that we can talk about. He didn't like them. You know what I mean? Like that was it was just.
I don't like them.
But it was like, and to me, it was like, I don't like that type of answer because it's like, come correct. Where Chi, if I say, why don't you like these tires? Give me an answer. He will have an answer. Agree, disagree, or indifferent.
Well, when you talk about the Nokian, I personally like the tires, but here's what I don't like. They underrepresent themselves. Only very niche people know about what Nokian is. People's going to ask you, you're trying to sell them a phone tire.
Mm-hmm. I get that.
Like me personally, I choose brands that represent themselves well. So, like Like even being like, I'm a big Falcon guy.
Yes.
Even though they're not hugely popular, but people know who they are compared to Nokia, and you're like, what the hell is this thing?
So I found a lot of my customers don't ask. They don't care.
They just trust
They
you.
they trust, or how many price, mileage rating, are they all season, stuff like that. But now, to your point though, the Nokian, for example, is a niche thing where people who want their snow tires or their all weather tires, they make an electric car tire for Teslas. So you the average person is not walking in saying I want a Nokian versus like you said, Continental, Michelin, Pirelli, whatever, something like that. So I get what you're saying in that respect. But again, at least there's a thought process there which I can respect. Where like
Other
the
than
other
I don't
guy,
like it.
I don't
Why
like
don't
it.
you why won't you implement this in your business? I don't want to. Okay,
Yeah,
well, like
right,
stop talking about being broke if you don't want to make any changes. Why won't
right,
you
Well,
do
right.
this? I don't like it. Okay, you don't like who said it, or you don't like the idea. Like sometimes people just don't take hold to an idea because they don't like the person that said it. For
well,
you
actually,
said you were with the company that starts with an A.
right.
You did
Why
the
can't
two
we
free
just say
months
it?
and you let it.
ATI. Just say it.
I know, like I don't know why he was trying to protect something.
I don't know.
But think about it. You said you got something. Did you get anything out of it? You got a couple good
Yeah.
tidbits. And if you didn't get a whole lot, you got the point that maybe you needed coaching. Like if they would have never shown up at your door, would you have seek
Uh,
more coaching and learning opportunities, or would you have just stayed in your own lane?
I think I will try to keep on figuring it out.
Mhm.
And so I wasn't like struggling, like, but so it was constantly flat, meaning money in, money out, money in, money out. But I wouldn't say I was struggling to make rent, but I will say by the end, towards the end, I was struggling to make rent after I
Mhm.
joined those clowns.
Okay.
I'm a real honest person. I'll tell you straight up, I was easier going bankrupt, just to declare bankrupt at the end of the 5 years, and that's when COVID happened. And
I
well,
remember that time. That's
yeah,
we were talking during that
yeah,
time.
when the lease was expiring on that building, I had to find another place because I was in so much debt that I could not just get a job and get out of the debt. It was either going bankrupt or I have to keep it going.
Yeah.
So I was looking for a spot for a long time. Online, nothing. Couldn't find nothing. And I was frustrated. I happened to take this back road home that I usually never take. And I drove by the shop I have right now for rent. I'm like, whatever. It's probably too good to be true. I was just over it. Called the number. Some girl answered, and she was completely clueless. I'm like, whatever. And a couple of days later, I was like, oh, you know what? Let me just call again. And then the landlord actually picked up. I was like, oh yeah, the girl doesn't know anything about this. So anyway, went to look at it, and and it's exactly where I want to be at. It's literally right outside Philly. Like you could walk into Philly, but it's right outside Philly. And from there on, actually, as bad as it sounds, COVID actually helped me out.
Same.
You
Absolutely.
know,
Yeah.
and I mean, I was over six digits in debt. And within 3 years, I worked myself out of it.
This is just business debt now.
Yeah, that's just business debt. I worked myself out of it. And now, so the past couple of years, I don't have that hanging over my head no more. But at the same time, being the last shop having employees, I mean, like I said, it's so hard to manage people. It also kind of terrified me because the calling out. Like I used to have panic attacks on Sunday nights.
Mm.
Mm.
Who's going to
Like,
call out? Who's going to be
right,
sick? Yep.
right, and you have 6 car schedule in the morning, and you're like, you just want to bang your head against the wall. Which and I actually, when COVID happened, you know, uh, I think, well, my service advisor had health issues, so I told him to stay home. Like he had heart issues, so I told him to stay home.
Remember that.
One of the techs just left, and I just was working by myself, and I'm like, hey, this is kind of chilling. And I was like, I don't have that stress anymore. So I personally, I thought it was going to be temporary. I'm like, I never ran a shop by myself. And then when I moved to this location, we were still in the middle, like in the height of COVID. I literally signed the lease on the day of lockdown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Anyway, so yeah, I was like, hey, this is chilling. So I kept it going, and here I'm in year 6, still doing it.
Well, wait, I didn't know. So you are a one-man show.
Yes,
I did not know that.
yes, and that's why I was laughing at Nick, because I'm like, bro, you got 2 techs and you up front. How am I beating your numbers every freaking week? and
Wow.
and
It took about 6-8 months, and then finally I had a week that I beat him, and then it was like a competition. Oh no, you ain't doing that again.
but it goes to show that how do you say it, like what, like okay, so I'm not saying Nick is a bad guy, but like
Terrible guy.
the shop wasn't managed well.
Absolutely.
The mechanical part wasn't managed well. I was even asking, dude, how are you making payroll? You're paying two guys and yourself up front, and the numbers are laughable. I'm not gonna say the numbers, but they were laughable. So for reference, I was standing around a lot and harassing him all day long, like a messenger. I'm like, hey, clown, what are you doing? Hey, where you at?
And he in there trying to work hard, and you on the internet playing.
Right, and I'm still beating his numbers. That's how bad it was. But as time went on, as I guess from him learning from ASOG, me giving him some input, he was doing actually respectable numbers. I was actually telling him, hey, you're doing a good job, clown.
Well, it wasn't like that. It was liar, ripoff, delusional.
Well, you knew what he was saying.
No, I knew what he was saying.
He was speaking in chi. If he said, if he would have been talking nice to you, you would have thought something was wrong with that dude.
No, exactly. If he's too
nice, why
nice,
are you being so nice to me?
No, but it was always. But it's funny he say that with the one-man band. So I went down to his shop, and he has everything situated for exact movement. It's very like everything is set up accordingly for him to move efficiently, because 2 steps in the wrong direction is inefficient for a one-man band, because seconds matter to him. We had a staff, so maybe those couple seconds didn't matter. He needed the oil filters in the right place. He needed this here. He did his alignments on this bay. He did his oil changes in this bay, or however it was set up. But I noticed everything with his shop was very efficient, and he thought of every move to make to work efficiently by himself. So I will. That is impressive to see with him being a one-man band, and doing the numbers that he's doing, being a one guy.
How do you come up with your processes?
So me,
Chi, you're muted for some reason. How do you come up with your processes, Nick?
So I guess what it is I always say it's a salad, where I learn from my dad. I learn from other people I work with. I learn from ASOG. I learn from Chi. I learn what works, what hasn't worked. And I kind of I always say I'm a stealer. I will take everything from everybody and twist it up and see what works and make it work for me. So I might go to your shop, or you might tell me one thing that I like, and I'll use it because it's a good idea. Now, other things, whatever. I'll listen. I'm open to ideas and change.
Right.
But I'm not the type where and other guys that have worked with me will say, because I said so. Like, Chi will explain his thought process and why. If you just tell me, hey, I want to sell Nokian tires because they're the best. Okay, well, why? Now, if you can explain to me why they're a good tire, I'm good. But we're not going to just do it because I said so. I can't be like that.
But you know what? I really respect what you said. I feel that way. Well, I love coaching. I do.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen to something for ATI, if you listen to something and you don't agree with it, don't use it. But the fact that you got to be open to listening to it, that's very important. So even if it's not automotive related, like you guys were saying, Gary V, and then Marcus, is it Lemon,
Lemonis?
whatever. Lemonis, like just watching people like that, people that have already, they're winning. They've got something in their cookbooks that you can actually use, implement in your business. And even if you have to tweak it a little bit, then so be it. But at least try. And the fact that your processes are so dialed in. Chi, how'd you come up with the dialed in processes the way you've got it? You've always been
Well,
like that? Is that just you?
no, I actually started with the second shop.
Mm-hmm.
So being as huge as it was, like at that point was me and two employees, and we're like, at the end of the day, we're like, holy crap, we're really tired.
Mm.
Like it wasn't like super busy, but we're like really tired. And then I started paying attention. We are walking a lot. So it sounds weird. We started doing something like a step counter, meaning
Mm-hmm.
how long does it take from the bay to walk up to the front desk? And then we're like, holy crap, if we move the desk this way, it'll save me 10 steps. So we started doing that in a lot of aspects. So instead of the oil filters being in the cabinet, I got carts where the oil filters are in the carts in every bay. So now they are not as tired. So, we started doing, and I kind of got addicted to it. I'm like, hey, this efficiency is very good.
Yeah.
like
And
like moving the emission machine.
oh my God, Nick, when I went to Nick's shop, well, his old shop, I walked in and I was like, Nick, why is your emission machine all the way in the back of the shop? Where most shops, I'm talking about even the inefficient shops, have it by the front bay door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why is it all the way back there, dude? Like, so you're telling me someone is going to pull a car in, drive it all the way to the back of the shop, run the emissions, then back it all the way back up, and then pull it into the bay? I'm like, where's the logic?
And these were
But
the
if you,
challenges
I
that I would
mean,
face. These were the challenges I would face because I would try to implement this stuff, and I would get ganged up on, and no, oh, this is fine. But it was like I almost felt like the guy who worked for us was like a government employee. He didn't want to work too much because, like, that's like, no, we don't do that. You know what I mean? So it was like this inefficiency was allowed to continue.
Yeah,
so but the
well,
inefficiencies can cost you money, not only the time or the
yes,
Oh
tired
yeah.
feet, about the
yes.
money that, wasted time. Because I know
Oh,
even Becky Witt drops, how much does it cost per minute to run your shop? And if you're adding up all of those minutes that you're wasting just walking around because you either can't find anything because it's unorganized or it's dirty, or even like you said, parts and things are not in the right place for efficiency.
yeah. Well, another thing. Well, when Nick visited my shop, right, I showed him. I'm like, so since I'm one man, right, I'm like, I have a car right in my bay, right in front of my toolbox, and I have my computer right on top of my toolbox. So as I'm doing an oil change, I'm quoting stuff, da, 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 whatever, right? And then I show him, yeah, I have a computer up front too. So, I'm not running back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And, he saw me literally, I'm wirelessly printing an invoice while I'm still working on the car.
Yeah, because you don't have to. The oil will drain by itself. You don't have to look at it. I have
Right.
to
Well,
walk by until Tech says, like, you don't have to stand there and watch that. You can just go ahead and complete another task. Being
right.
efficient.
Right. But what I'm saying is like, especially with guys like me, Chris Enright, for us, we have to be super efficient at how we work. Otherwise, we get on a busy day, we will get how do you say that? We won't have enough time.
Yeah.
You know, but I also feel like even in a bigger operation, if you actually solve these inefficiencies, you either get more cars in, you get things done easier, faster. But this is something I don't see a lot of people talk about. I talk about a
Mhm.
lot. I mean, Nick has heard me talk about a lot. Uh, but
True. There's not a lot of people that talk about it, but I know who does, and I know I say her name all the time. That's one thing that I picked up from Becky Witt. It's about,
right,
well, one thing she talks about is time and finding the unicorn and make sure you're not wasting his time. And so
yes,
having parts ready, making sure you don't have a car on the lift. You're talking about steps, but there's some shops that don't even know if they have the oil filter in stock for the oil change that they're
yep,
doing. And the car's stuck on the lift for another 45 minutes to an hour, waiting for one oil filter to be checked out. to be delivered. And so, yeah,
Yes.
those things cost you money because now you've got an oil change that took an hour and a half instead of 30 minutes or 45 minutes. It costs you money. All the time is money. But
Right.
no,
So
a lot of people talk about the KPIs and they talk about, the numbers and all of that good stuff, but actually processes such as what you're speaking of in the layout of your shop, yeah, those conversations need to be had a lot more. I agree.
It's
yeah.
funny you say that with even like the oil filter. Like if when we would write up our tickets and I knew that car was coming in, I'm pulling the oil filter already, so it's on top of the ticket. So when Tanika's going to grab that ticket to do that oil change, she has to grab the oil filter with it. Or if it's one of those weird ones where you got to know your inventory, like
Mhm.
all right, we had Pennzoil filters. That's what we had in stock at the last place. PZ37. All right, that's like half of Asia, so we're good. We got that. But if a Mercedes Benz E320 came in, I'm like, I might not
We ain't
have
got
that.
that.
Let me check. But luckily for us, and one thing Chi taught me with even stocking parts, I was lucky at the old shop. AutoZone was literally 2 blocks away. And he'd be like, yo, clown, that is your personal warehouse 2 blocks away. You don't need to stock nothing. If you know they have it,
Yeah.
why would you? And it's amazing because with the new place, this is how I've been thinking. I've been thinking of the efficiencies and how to process and streamline everything because like having that AutoZone 2 blocks down the street was amazing.
Hmm.
And because again, why stock anything? I didn't have to. I didn't need to stock air filters. They were 2 blocks away for the
Right.
common stuff, you know?
I like it. So the new shop, have you opened it yet?
No, not opened yet. And it is funny how when you say about things come into place. So when I was at the other place, I could tell the writing was on the wall. I just didn't know when the writing was on the wall. Like but I was still in my head. I was planning stuff and my and what's going to happen. Am I going to leave? Or things not going to work out? Whatever. I kind of could feel it. That it wasn't feeling like it wasn't my home anymore. It was a house that I built, but it wasn't my house anymore. You know,
Oh,
so it's funny. There is a local place, so like cheesesteaks are big in our area. This guy had a shop that he did wraps and customs and ceramic coating and tint. And then out front during COVID, he bought a food truck and started doing cheesesteaks. Um, and it really took off. And talking
wow.
about processes, he refined it where he gets the meat from here, gets it from here, and he really it wasn't just it wasn't just a typical cheesesteak that you get from the sandwich shop. Like he in our area in the Philly suburbs, he was the kind of the one that really made it like a destination. This isn't just the local spot you go to. People will drive 20, 30 minutes to go to this place. And it kind of created another competition of cheesesteak places so much that there's an internet beef between two cheesesteak places in my area. Now, locally, they're having a cheesesteak festival at this place called Sunnybrook. It's like a big event center near my house. And cheesesteak
Okay.
places from all over the Philly area are going there because of this place, if that all makes sense.
That's
But
crazy because I need one. I'm going, Tuesday's next week for me. I'm not sure when this will be aired. But so I need you to send me a message about this cheesesteak place because I might have to roll up.
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and so I go into this cheesesteak place because we would get lunch every Friday for the techs. Well, they
Hmm.
just so happened to forget my cheesesteak. Typically, I wouldn't go get lunch, but I'm like, you know what? It's mine. I'll go pick it up. He says to me, "Are you looking for another location?" And in my head, I'm like, well, I don't even want to be at this place anymore. So I'm not even thinking of that. So after I left, I was trying to get another place as far as that goes, and it wasn't working out. So then it's like, oh, what about this place? And that's how we got this place. So if I would have never got my order incorrect, I would have never talked to the owner who was trying to push me on his other place to get that place. How you said everything all kind of falls together, you know?
Works out. Yeah. That's what's up. So you haven't opened. Chi, you still run around one man show. Where
Yeah.
do both of you guys see your shops in the next 3 years? What do you think you're going to be doing, Mr. Wong?
Me personally, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I have thoughts about, calling it quits, but at the same time, when you talk to your friends that still work at the dealership, whatever, and you hear the drama, you're like, oh my God, you're like,
Yeah.
even though I could make more money. Uh, with kids and everything, I think I'm just gonna have to keep on going. I
Yeah.
have recently, so for the past 5 years since I left that other shop, I was kind of in like a stale mode. Like I'm just licking my wounds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, man, it was just bad. But it wasn't just a lot. The debt, loss of friendship with the guy, with the body guy. It was like it was so much. Um, so I personally thought about just calling it quits. But recently, actually, thanks to another guy, actually Carmen, he joined ShopFix. We could say coaching companies, and he was telling me he started doing like really good numbers, and I was just like, hold on, me and you,
Hold on.
I'm like, me and you, we're not that different. I mean, like at that point he had one employee. I'm like, let me try this. So I was like, hey, give me a little Timu insight on this. Let me be a little Timu version.
Give me the TV version of Shop Fix.
Right. So I was like, okay. So I was telling him like, hey, so what's this all about? Like, give me some insight. Let me think about this. So I started executing it, and first week
Okay.
I'm like, okay, numbers look a little better. Second week I'm like, yo, dude, I doubled my numbers, my usual number,
Okay.
right? And I'm like, it's not like I really killed myself. And then third week I'm like, second week I thought it was a fluke, honestly. Third week I'm like, hold on, I'm doing the same thing. Fourth week I'm doing the same thing.
Okay.
And the fifth week, it went a little down. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But last week I did the same thing, and I'm just like, hey, maybe we're onto something.
Remember they were
So are you
advertising Shop
coaching with
Fix Light?
Shop Fix now?
No, I just ask questions. So I'll ask guys questions. He's not the only one in it. I think Steve Roberts in it,
Steve's in it.
Matt Vong's in it. So I ask these guys questions. And we know each other for a while, and it has tremendously helped their businesses. Even though they were doing good already, it just took them to another level. And
Mm-hmm.
I always say it. I always tell people, I really appreciate when guys at a much bigger scale or level, they're actually willing to talk to guys like me and Nick. You understand what I'm saying? It's like it's really a blessing, and but like it really opened my eyes a little bit. So right now I'm kind of like waffling. Should I maybe start hiring? I was
I
like,
mean, if you know you've got your processes down, you've got everything handled. It sounds like you really got it going on. Maybe you get a young person just like you were that you don't think you should allow to be burned by the industry by going into the dealership. Go ahead and find a young person that has not already become jaded, for lack of a better word, and teach them what you're doing, the way that you want it done, your processes, and help bring them up in the industry. That can be your uncle moment. You can help somebody that way.
Tonnika,
oh,
I offered to come down, but my agent and
No,
him.
don't, please don't do that. We want the shop to stay open.
So it's funny. It's funny to hear him say like he's on Shop Fix Light. Remember they were doing Shop Fix Light? No, he's on Light. But it is funny because like he would kind of like he was like jaded or annoyed with the industry, kind of like what
Yeah.
do I do? And I'm like, and I remember us talking a couple months ago, like I'm like, gee, either get out or it was more or less put up or shut up. So he
Box or
started
kick
trying.
rocks. Yeah.
It was, and he was trying like doing stuff with his website, doing this, and it was funny. He was asking me questions, and basically I was regurgitating his information back to him, but in Nick language because he's just like, and he's laughing because he goes, Nick, I talked to this customer and I did it your way. I'm like, but that's the way you taught me. But he goes, no, you kind of put your own little spin on it. And I don't know what we were talking about, but just like whatever, it was like a sales pitch of some sort. And
Yeah.
and it was just funny because he's all proud because I showed him something. I'm like, no, that's what you taught me. But I don't
no,
know
no,
what.
no. No, what it was is I will say Nick is a natural salesman. He's a natural salesman. So, I'm not a natural salesman. I'm a horrible salesman, actually. But like, I just asked him, hey, how do you convey this to a customer in a way that they're like, okay, So I'm like, I think it was something like, if a car needed brakes, da 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 da, and it doesn't fail for state inspection. How do you sell that in a way that you know they'd be like they'll just like be okay, So pretty much he was like, Well, you just tell them, hey, your car's, hey, you might as well have it done, instead of coming back, blah, 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 blah. It's a little salesy to me personally,
Mm-hmm.
but, maybe not to that person.
Right. So you had to get out of your own way and let Nick coach you.
So I think
Right,
it was
right.
just
Oh, that's so
I think
cute.
I think it was just the presentation. So I would be like, "Hey, Tanika, we have your Honda Accord in for inspection. Technically, the brakes pass. You are good, but within 3 months, you're going to need to get them done now."
I ain't got
And
time. Get it done today. Let's go.
I would just say, "Is that something you want to take care of today, or do you want to hold off and maybe wait till next oil change? Because you have about 2,500 miles left on your next oil change." Or you
Perfect.
might go, you know what, Nick, I'm cool. Money's tight right
Right.
now. I'll wait for my tax return. Or to your point, nobody got time for that.
I ain't
Just do
gonna
the
buy that time for that. Or I'm getting ready to go on vacation, so I'd rather be safe than sorry. Or I got a really, really long trip. So I'm the 100% customer, and that's one thing we talked about earlier is selling out our own pockets. Like, give me
Mhm.
the information and let me decide from there because I don't have time. Like, if I'm getting something done, just do it all.
And
Do it.
even when maintenance is coming up, like with inspections, you need this maintenance should be done. And even like when there's a big service, the 60K, the 90K, the 100K, whatever, where I will we were him me and him were talking about, okay, if you do all of this, the 100K service on your X car, it's going to be $1,800. But
Hmm.
how much do you have today? Maybe we can break it up into projects for you. I got 500 a day, Nick. I can spend 500 beyond what we talked about for the other stuff. All right, cool. I'll do $500 worth of work and I'll keep doing that. And we'll kind of keep it pushing till you get it all done. And I found that that is an excellent approach because for the people that are maybe budget conscious, price conscious, they feel like they're accomplishing something, but yet they're not overwhelmed. But yet I already kind of pre-sold them because then they're not coming in next time all upset, stressed out that they got to come up with $1,500, whatever that
Right, because
number
you've
is.
already said, okay, get ready for it. Let's get ready. Let's get ready.
They
So
have that
that is
time to
the
be.
difference between being the mechanic in the shop and being the service advisor and the sales representative up front.
And
The guys in the back, that you sound like a wonderful service advisor to have. The guys in the back are doing the DVI, they're looking over the vehicle, and you trust them and they trust you that you are going to represent the company and represent their findings and do your best for the customer. So everybody's working out together.
and it works out well because it's like everybody's happy, everybody's
Yeah.
and it gives them a warning, and it gives us potential future work.
Hmm.
Hopefully they come back and all that stuff. So it's like it just works out well, and it doesn't totally intimidate them because that's
Yeah,
the
Chief,
problem
you
is
can do that. You can do it all the time. You're not selling anything. They already come to you because they trust you.
look at
Who
that
doesn't
face.
trust an Asian guy that works on cars? Like, come
Well,
on,
well,
man.
but that's why I said I was like, hey, clown, you gotta
Stop
teach me
calling him a
some.
clown.
So how that came up, right? So anyway, I was like, hey, you got to teach me some sales tactics. So because I always say, hey, listen, if you ever get out this industry, you're just so natural in sales. You could get into sales.
Yeah.
But so how the clown came up? How the hell did the clown?
Nick, are you a
Oh,
Well,
comedian for real? Because
he
your
calls
Facebook thing says you're a comedian.
well, I'm a
You're not a
clown, so
comedian.
yeah.
You're a
No.
clown.
He used to call my shop the circus, and now Auto Pacina is the new circus.
The
When
new
does the new
circus.
circus go up? How is the new circus? We met a couple weeks ago, and the circus is in the parking lot. Hey, look, I think that's your shop over there.
You guys are so sweet to each other. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
well, the reason why I call him clown was because the old shop. I call it a circus because I'm like, dude, your tech is running from the bay all the way. I'm talking about like the shop is huge,
It was an
all the
old
way
Chevy dealer.
right, all the
Okay.
way down to there to use the computer. Like, and then I'm like, you guys are constantly running around like, and then his techs, well, his lead tech, whatever you want to call him, wasn't recommending anything. So I told him they're working on a Lexus, right? I'm like, hey, the rear differential fluid, should be changed, whatever, right? And then Nick tells me, well, he said it's some kind of special fluid. I'm like, go tell the clown to go kill himself. you know,
Well,
So you're calling it,
he,
he called the shop the circus, and that's why he was a clown in the circus. I
right?
yes,
call mine
Because
a shit show.
because,
same
but
difference though. Same, you got the
Yeah,
same
same
idea.
thing. Yours is
but
nicer. I'll stop saying that.
but I remember having a conversation. I'm like, hey Nick, me personally, I sell batteries every 5 years. I'm like, hey,
Mhm.
5 years about average lifespan. And then he had a scenario where He's literally sold the battery, but then his tech told the customer he doesn't need it.
Oh,
And,
wow.
and I was like, dude, that's a clown right there, you
And
know?
this is the stuff I would deal with, and it's like, if my thing would be 5 years battery. If you have a 2021 come in, or Honda's every 3 years, sell the battery. It's peace of mind, because it's like, because how many times does it happen? And I've had it. Like, I could tell you one instance: husband brings the wife's car in, we recommend a battery. Now I'm gonna do it myself, and they're friends of the family. So she calls up and she's mad at me. What the heck, you guys? Blah 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 blah. I'm like, look, I'm not trying to
Told
cause
him.
problems. I'm not trying to cause problems at home, but I'm going to put it this way. I told your husband, I said his name, that it needed a battery. And if you look on the invoice, I wrote recommend battery. He said he's going to do it. And she looks and she's on the phone with me. Nick, I'm going to tell you it like this. That is my effing car. She goes, and she's not mad at me. She's just annoyed.
No, she's mad at the situation, right? Now she's late.
She goes, you call me about my car. I'm not playing these games because he didn't want us to fill it up with washer fluid, like stuff like that. Because I
That's
was
just
like,
testosterone. It's funny. I love to hear it too. It's like, oh, I'll get it done. You won't. You're not
and
gonna
she's
get it.
like,
You said it the last
Nick,
3 times.
she goes, Nick, if you call me and you tell me how much and you explain it to me and I'm cool, she goes, if you get shit from him, I'll deal with him. You just tell him that you talk to me and we're good. Never had a problem with her again.
Yeah.
She's great. Because she don't want to deal with that, like you said, that maybe and all that. And it was one of those, in the case we're trying to sell a battery because of time, where he thought because it started up fine, it was good. Well, what happened on that first cold snap, or that first
And where
time it
was
got
he?
real hot?
He was already
right?
at work, and she's and now she's
Oh,
pissed,
yeah.
and he's like, whoa, yeah.
So with processes, she kind of put some processes in place, like batteries. Hey, if you got a 2021, we're in 26. I'm trying to sell a battery. Honda's 3 years. We've learned that. If it's a 2023
Yep.
Honda, we're putting a battery in, or at least asking. Now, if they say no, well, what can I do? I tried.
Right.
Well, it's not you
But
tried.
if you don't offer it to him,
offered it.
and then it's cold, like it was 93 degrees yesterday. Today it's 40 right now.
Mhm.
It's freezing outside. You know whose car's not starting? A lot of
Yeah.
people, because they're
It's
like,
gonna
their
be like
husband
that.
said, oh, it starts just fine. Okay. Yeah. Told you.
Yeah.
Told you. But you've covered your tail. You've provided great customer service, and the customer now trusts you just a little bit more, even though it was their fault. They're like, should have listened to him. And you won.
And they'll do that because now it's like, you know what, when Nick asks, and maybe that guy will either be proactive and change the battery himself, or
Or
he'll
he'll
go, you know what?
kick your ass when he shows up next time because you got him in
Yeah.
trouble.
That is what it is, And I mean, he didn't say nothing to me next time he came in. I think he didn't want to start that fight, because he knew he was wrong at the end of the day. So no, it's just those types of things she had kind of enlightened me on.
No, like honestly, like a lot of shops struggle with these stuff. Like like a lot of people. I always tell Nick, a lot of people don't see the serious side of me because I'm a joker. But
Right.
people don't understand why I'm a joker. Just like you, Tonnika, you like to joke.
Life is short, babe.
Well, it's almost like a stress relief for me personally. But so but when people see my serious side, like Nick, he actually takes it. But a lot of shops struggle, right? So even me personally, right? I see cars coming to my shop, even from dealerships, where maintenance due wasn't done. Like I just had a Pathfinder, a 2022 Pathfinder come in with 38K. Brake fluid was due at 30K. He was going to the dealer. It wasn't done. I'm just like, easy money right there. But I feel like a lot of shops are actually struggling because they're not catching these things, And it's funny as Nick knows. My shop is literally next to another shop. We get along great.
Right.
The domestic shop, because they work on mostly domestics. That's what he calls it, the domestic shop.
Yeah, you got a name for everything. I don't know. I don't want to know what you call me. I just keep it to yourself.
I've heard everything wonderful, nothing bad.
Well, like what you're saying, they just don't tell the customer, and the customer comes to a shop like yours or mine, and we're going to present with what the industry calls the 300% rule. And you asked me what Detect Auto was. Even if Detect Auto will pull Carfax history from your database and what's supposed to be had on the car and say, hey, have these things been done? So like every car, you can't pull a spark plug just to check it, but just checking the history. And have anyone talked to you about this? And usually it's no, because one, they haven't convinced the technician the importance of the DVI. Two, the service advisor is not presenting what the technician has told them because they just are selling out of their own pocket or running scared. Or 3, the customer knows about it or they're just a terrible customer. But most of the time it's the first 2. And even with the dealership that happens. That happened to me at the dealership. They had
Right.
my Mercedes for a week. And I got the DV out, was terrible. It needed a Guibo, didn't know the name of it. He offered me 1 tire. He's like,
She
you
said
need a
Guido.
tire.
She said Guido. She making fun of me. She said Guido.
I said Guido. I didn't say that.
No,
I told you
what-
black. But yeah, they did a terrible job. And I don't know. I was like, well, I looked at the DVI video coming from a Mercedes dealership and I was like, this is terrible. Like, who tells a person with this car that they need a tire? I needed 4. I needed 3 because I only had a blowout, right? And I was just being lazy, only changed 1 tire because it's my shop. That's what we do to our own cars. But I was like, no, dude, I need a set. And I told you I was out of town. You had plenty of time to do a proper DVI, present this, and I am a say yes customer. So that's a lot of failures where we let customers down and we're supposed to be the.
Now, why did you take that to the dealer?
Well, because it was in for a recall.
Okay.
And I took it in for an electrical recall. And I'm the type of person that my cars are always on the back burner because we're that busy.
Okay.
And so, yeah. And I was just like, just look at the car, whatever it needs. I personally do. It's not my favorite car. So I know I mistreat her. That's why I only put that 1 tire on it. But I'm too busy to get stuff done. And even my personal cars, my kid's car, something happened, just drive mommy's car. Just do this because I don't have time in my own shop and I'm not making money off that car. I'm not greedy and I need all the money.
I get it. So it was just a timing thing. And it is interesting.
It was convenient. Mm-hmm.
And it is interesting too, because, you know, the dealership is in general is viewed as the superior product. If you want to like basic, I know, but that's how it's viewed as for the customers. I disagree, or I agree with what you're saying. And then even on top of that, a Mercedes dealer is even more of a premium experience, or should be, and it's not. They're treating it like a Suzuki.
It's not. The drop-off situation, I dropped it off the night before the airport. There was not what I felt was a secure location for me to leave my vehicle.
Okay.
I had the gates were locked, which makes sense. It got the gates to the parking lot. I had to park my car on the side of the road to leave it and walk to the door for the drop box. We're talking about processes and steps. So for me, being a young lady dropping my car off at night, it wasn't a big, well-lit, secure location, in my opinion.
I got that. Yeah,
and so
yeah.
I pointed that out, and I'm just sitting there. And the service advisor, when I picked up the car, he's looking at me like, "Who the hell are you?" I'm like, "Dude, this was a terrible experience."
It is funny, like the Lexus that you're talking about with the special diff fluid. There's a couple caveats to that. So that was one of my dad's customers from years ago, and then she drifted off and ended up at the dealer, and then she ended up coming back. And then there was, so much missed maintenance because I'm combing through, because I'll look on all data or whatever we have and like ask, hey, your car has X amount of miles. Has this been done? Has this been done? Trying to get it caught up, even if it is a little behind. And it is nice to use the Carfax to see what's been done. So I don't want to sell you anything that's already been done. And then for my regulars, it's nice to see if you're cheating on me because, oh, you were the last one to work on it. Oh, no, you weren't. You had it somewhere. No. Your car was not in on April 11th, 2024. It was somewhere. It was not here. It was somewhere.
I had to go real quick because I tried to call you. No, don't play with me.
But now you told me now I was the last one to work on it now.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's funny, like that Lexus, she was going to the dealer and she knows which one it's at near your friend Jimmy's house. And it's a high-end, beautiful dealership. So much of this easy maintenance was missed. And I'm like, I get sometimes it's like, the dealer techs want to cherry pick the easy stuff, like Mr. Glorified Lube Tech over here, as he likes to call himself. But why wouldn't you pick the glorified lube tech stuff like changing the diff fluid and changing this and changing that? Because it's easy. Spark plugs on those are a pain. Maybe you don't want to get into that day because that's a 5-hour job. I understand that. Maybe why that got skipped that day. But you didn't want to do a quick drop some diff fluid and keep it pushing. And it is funny. On top of that is I was trying to sell the job on the diff fluid. My guy tells me it's special fluid. And then when I look it up, that's funny. So I look it up. We had it on the shelf. I said, hey, we had it here. What's so special about it?
Special fluid.
Well, he didn't like that because how dare you question the almighty because my dad had him on a pedestal. You know what I mean? Like how we're like certain ones, like Hondas, I have dual pump fluid for like my CRV and stuff. I gotta have that. I bought a case of it because he told me to, and I ended up selling it just because I had it. It was easy, you know? So it is funny where that all those little details kind of intersect where a Lexus dealer wasn't doing maintenance and they could have, and the independent guy caught all the maintenance. Like, how is that? You know, there is
Well, just
definitely a
like Chi
disconnect.
said earlier, when you were at the Honda shop, you were only working on Hondas, right? So you think you know everything about a Honda, but then you start working on different cars and you expand your knowledge. Technicians, some of them just don't want to do it. Like you said, don't want the 5-hour spark plugs. But I don't understand what the mindset is. Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do the DVI. I would rather, if I were a technician, or if I were Chi working by myself in the shop, I would rather have 2 cars that day with 6-7 hours on each car. So you rather rack 10 cars and just do an oil change, a glorified oil change, and not just get the gravy and not get stuff done. I don't understand that mentality. I do sometimes with the DVI when shops are not paying the technician for the DVI process. That's a different monster. But if I'm paying you for the DVI and giving you the opportunity to make yourself an easier day by racking 1 car or 2 cars versus 6 to 8, why are you not buying in?
And I would notice that with some of my stuff that I did, and with Chi helping me, I would be running around with a chicken with my head cut off, and then I'd look at my settlement sheet. How much money did we take in a day?
Nothing.
I worked a lot for that, and then the other days I'd see it and it'd be a couple $1,000s, and I'm like, I didn't do nothing today. I was sitting around, like not really, but you know what I mean. Like I was working a lot less, making a lot more. And
when you slow it down, when you slow down that car count and you can dig into those vehicles properly, not going out there scamming anybody, not making up stuff, but if you can properly look at that vehicle and do the maintenance, not quick lube crap. Because I was doing the same thing when Dad retired and I just had the service department. There was no more body shop, and I'm running around and my car count is high, but my ARO was so low it's laughable. But now I know the car count is lower, much lower, and from last year to this year, my car count has dropped another 20%, but my ARO is customer service.
So Dad started as a body shop, and then you got into repair?
We started as a body shop in 1980. Started as a body shop, moved to the second location. I want to say the first shop may have been 2,500 or 2,000 square feet. Okay. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but it was a pretty small shop. 3 bays in the office, and 1 bay was a makeshift paint booth. And then when we moved, our service department was built to play that insurance company game, because you know that game, Nick.
Of course.
Exactly. You can sublet a steering gear and they can charge whatever they're going to charge, and you can mark it up. But if you keep it in-house, you're only getting $42. I mean, I think when we left, it was $42 an hour. Yep. A lot of people don't know how small the margins are in the collision industry.
It's different.
And then you have to play that whole game with insurance companies. So we built 2 separate buildings, one for service, and different tax ID number, different name, even though it was ours, so we can sublet the work to ourselves. So when he retired, he rented out the body shop and left me with the service department. But that wasn't my thing. I'm a body shop girl all day. I've been doing it my whole life. We just use the service department just to sublet stuff for the insurance companies. Basically, we're doing oil changes and state inspection. And I think my ARO, when I began, I have to look this up so I can make sure this number is correct, but it was maybe 120.
And you didn't want to continue in the body shop business? You wanted to do service?
I thought that I did until I really start learning the service side. The margins are different. There's more control there. I don't have to negotiate with terrorists, the insurance companies.
Legalized mafia, we call it.
Yeah, when the insurance companies come, when you have an accident, you have a customer that has an accident, it happens just like that. They are on 100. Maybe somebody got hurt, feelings hurts, egos bruised. Insurance companies lying to them. You got to sit there and negotiate with insurance companies. That crap is stressful. And I did not know how stressful it was until I stopped doing it.
Yes.
And then I saw the light in the ASOC group, meeting people and understanding, oh, wait a minute. You mean I can make a whole lot of money over here? Much more than over there? Because over there, I felt like she was saying, I felt like I was recycling money. You can only market for parts 20, 25% if they let you. They controlled everything almost.
our body shop
So
was busy, so I know what you're saying. And
it
then to
was
your
very
point,
busy, but not very profitable.
and I figured out too, like I had to figure out too, like, oh, this dealership offers 5% better on Nissan parts, so I'm buying it from there. So you
Mhm.
have you have 20 different vendors because you're trying to get the best deal from everybody. Or on the
Right?
service side, you can have a couple parts vendors, couple tire vendors, boom, boom, keep it pushing.
Your markup is your
It
markup. Your price is your price. There's no. I don't even do warranty work, dude.
and it's oh really? So
I
I
don't. I
do it.
don't deal with warranty companies because I cannot deal with the process. But I may start doing it because I can let my service advisors do that. But as
Yeah,
for me, no.
I do it, and I always explain to people with the warranty side, which is what people are starting to do on the collision side now. So when you have Car Shield, Ice T selling you that beautiful warranty, yeah, right,
No, good and damn well, IC is not using no car shield on his car.
exactly.
Y'all
Well,
know
well,
better.
so it's I remember more like one of the last ones I did. It was an alternator job, like $800 alternator job. They ended up paying $236. Now I'm very clear with people. Whatever the warranty pays, they pay. My price is my price.
Right.
I said, and it's always funny, Nick, they cover everything. I'm sure they do. You know
Yes,
what I
they
mean?
cover everything.
They don't cover everything. At least there are a few that have surprised me though. I charge a
Mhm.
higher labor rate for my fleet work, and my warranty work is a higher labor rate. And because I have a couple fleet accounts like Enterprise and all them through that. And I I have to get my price. So got to make it up somewhere. So it's a higher labor rate, and that covers for my time on the phone, and they pay for it. If
Yeah.
that's and I tell people respectfully, if you don't like that process, then I don't want to do your warranty claim.
Yeah.
And and
I had a
no hard.
customer and I said, I will help you with your warranty claim. I said, but you have to initiate the call because I knew
Hmm.
how long he was going to be on the phone.
Hmm.
He was sitting in his car. He came back in. He said, I know why you do not do this. I was like, okay. Because I gave him all the information. I gave him all. I said, they're going to ask you these questions. When they're ready to talk, you come back in. But you sit on the line with him for 30 minutes. And he said, there's no way that you should have to go through this. I was like, and I don't.
So on the body shop side, if I would do a body shop again, I would do it kind of what you were saying. Just a body shop, just collision work, no restoration work, no rust work. We're doing just insurance work. And honestly, Chi would be good at the body shop because it's process, every step
Mhm.
counts, every percentage counts. I know he would if I let him dig into some insurance, hey, you got to call Geico, let him have it. He would actually probably be very good at it because there is ways to make money. It's just it is a harder buck, and it is every move is scrutinized, and if you repainted something you lost money. Like
Yep.
every process has to be perfect. and
And you've got to document every single thing.
and
You have to. And I was
and
really good at it. But I did
oh
and
yeah,
I missed it because when dad decided to rent it out, I was really angry with him. I was mad because that was
I,
my shit. Because I
I
can
can
write an
understand.
estimate. You can come in and audit me, and I would look at the auditor like, yeah, you looking for that money. Because their job is to come in and $5, $10, $15. Because if you've got 15 million claims that year, they can save $1 each claim. They've done their job, but they couldn't find anything on your sister, man. I was so good at it. I
One
love
guy.
that part. I really did love building an estimate. But after I found out how easy it was on the other side of the mountain,
Mhm.
I'm going back over there. You can have it.
S and that's kinda what this place I wanna do. Like, I like classic cars, but that's a hobby, and if you
Yeah.
wanna do classic cars, you should have a classic car shop.
Yeah.
And just do that. So, and then like the accessories I like to do, just the tonneau covers, easy stuff because it's bolt on stuff.
Yep.
If you want a Borla exhaust on your F-150, I'll do it if they make a kit for it because it's a
Hmm.
bolt on deal. It'd be no different than replacing a walker that she likes to install so much. You know what I mean? In my eyes, like he loves Walker,
He's
but he
making
wears
fun
the
of a
Walker
shirt.
shirt all the time.
Is
He
it the
doesn't
same
like the
shirt all the
brand.
time?
He'll wear this Walker shirt a lot, but then doesn't like the brand.
It was free. What do you want me to do?
It's free, exactly. See,
How far apart are you guys as far as distance, like your shops?
about 45 minutes
Um,
to an hour, depending on
You guys
traffic.
ever think you'll do something together?
doubt it.
Doubt that. Yeah,
I
You'll
doubt it.
save the friendship?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll probably smack his head every day.
Oh, it would like it. That's why I said earlier. Either it would go beautiful and amazing, or it would be a disaster.
A
But
beautiful disaster.
Well, we actually have different skill sets. I feel like I'm more in operations, meaning I'm more behind the scenes, where he could be upfront.
So I would be the head. What do they call the leader of the circus? Conductor.
What is the leader of the circus?
Yeah,
I
I'm that
don't know.
guy.
You'd
I'm
be
that guy.
Bottom and
Yeah,
Bailey or whatever.
I'm Barnum and Bailey, and he's in the background. But no, to your point though, we would do really well because I would deal with the people, and he'd be plotting and figuring stuff out and doing this and doing that. Or like he doesn't have to talk to the people. Or like even if it was rating up the estimate, yo Nick, I wrote this Honda CRV up, go sell it. And
Here.
he'd be happy because I could sell it. I know it's right because I trust him, and I can stand behind it, and he don't have to deal with the people.
I think you
And
should
so
open a shop together.
the circus, we're gonna call it
The circus.
Circus. Yeah, we should name
There
it
is
circus.
a Swedish shop up here. They do the sobs and all the stuff, and it's called Flying Circus.
See,
So hey, you can sell
a Chinese themed circus.
Chinese themed circus that sells cheesesteaks.
Well,
Yeah,
you
right,
got
there you go.
no.
In the
The
parking
thing
lot.
is, you got to know where your strength is. Like I'm not going to tell people like I'm the best salesman, I'm the best mechanic. I'll tell people I'm not no A tech. I'm dead serious. I'm not an A tech. I always tell people that. I make like I'm very good with the imports, like the Jap cars. You come to a Chevy and I'm
You
looking at it
can't
like,
say that.
yes, I
You can't
can.
say that. You can't say that. You're gonna get canceled.
No,
You know how
but
many
yeah,
times my employees like, Mr. Nicky, you can't say that. I can say what the hell I want. But anyway,
right. No, but you just gotta be real with yourself. I'm never gonna be 6 foot. That's the truth. I'll never be black. That's the truth.
we'll give you a
But
pass. So I'll let you come to the cookout.
Oh yeah, I'm down.
No. But the thing is, like, you gotta know where your strength is. And when you have a big operation, you feel that lack of strength with somebody that has that strength. Which right now, for me, like, I'm not good at sales. I'm not good at sales at all. I'm horrible. But am I a good tech? Yeah, I think I'm a good tech. But I'm not like the guy with the picoscope and all that. Like Brandon Steckler. I went to his class one time and my mind was blown. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Then I come to find out he's from the area and he knows the same people I do. I'm like, okay, cool.
Brandon's a cool dude.
Yeah, but
You
it's just
you
like,
guys going to tools?
I'm not
I
going
don't
to
know.
tools.
No, I doubt it.
My pockets are light this year. I don't have
Okay,
chi
so
money
you're
this year.
building.
He's Poe.
You got
He's
Chi
Poe.
money? I heard Chi got all the money. He
I
sends
know
out
he
bags
does.
of rice.
He's Poe.
Yeah, he does.
He
Oh,
Poe.
P-O-H. I'm Poe right now.
POH. That's what we say. But I just feel like a lot of guys, like, hey, understand where your strength is. This is how I put it. You could always improve, right? Like I tell Nick, I could improve my sales with some training, or like, when guys say, oh, I can't, this and that. I'm like, okay, well, do you ever play like Madden or something? Where, the player starts out drafted at 65, right? Yeah, and over the years that guy improved, or even in real life, is he ever going to be the star player? Probably not. But can a guy get to 75 or 80? Maybe, right? And,
They
and
don't
that's the
need to be.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the same with us, where I've been trying to improve my sales. Like if you talk to me like when I first started a business, right? You will walk into my door, right, my shop door, and I'll look at you and be like, "How can I help you?" I thought that was the proper way. Now, over time, actually, I watched a YouTube video completely non-related to automotive, and it says if someone walks in the door, just say, "Hey, how you doing?" The whole tone just changed. It was like something that simple, but that's what I improved on over the years. Like when somebody walks in, "Hey, how you doing?" Or instead of "How can I help you?"
Yeah.
Approach.
How can you help me? Yeah,
And even
because that does kind of sound harsh, but I really appreciate you've said several times how you go and seek information to be better, even if it's outside of the automotive industry.
Well, you have to understand, right? What I tell people, right? Yeah, I even tell my son, he's 14. Everything's out there now. It's either you're gonna do it now. I'm like, back in our dinosaur age, we had to go to the library, we had to go to classes, but
my mom brought that up to me.
right. But these daily skills that I'm talking about, like, it's like if you like, like I tell my son, uh we get used to habits. So as he talks now, he always says, "Thank you, appreciate it." But that's something that I implemented for him. I'm like, hey, if you talk this way, people will like it a lot more, instead of like, thanks, you know.
It's even
let me just finish real quick. So like me, even for me, I implement that. Whereas when I call a vendor, let's say a dealer or whatever, I'm like, okay, hey, can we see that tomorrow? Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. They were like, they got that warm, fuzzy feeling. I mean, that guy, I didn't tell nothing else different, instead of Nick's kind of like, thanks.
Yeah, because they get talked at all day.
It
I
is
believe
funny.
in, I truly believe in what you said. The convenience store that just opened up the street, I make sure I called them by their name on their tag. And he said the other day, he's like, Mr. Nick, he didn't call me by. He's like, you call my name every single time. It's like, because I'm pretty sure people don't even make eye contact with you all day.
Bucky's.
No, we don't have a Bucky's up here. We're
Oh,
getting like one that's like an hour away. People, Bucky's is not all of that. It's like a
It
one.
is.
No, it's not.
it is funny when you
Very.
say
The
that.
only thing good about Bucky's is a good clean bathroom.
I was talking to a parts vendor or whatever, and he did, and it was something that he didn't have, or there was a mistake or a miscommunication. I said, I understand, no problem, and I was, got my point across, and it was cool. And he says to I guess his coworker, why can't everybody be like that? Like it wasn't my fault. And I heard him say like, I know he's mad. We messed up. Like he didn't hang up the phone, and I kind of heard
Yeah.
it. I kind of wanted to listen. We messed up. But he didn't yell at me, but he got his point across that we need to fix our problem. Like I kind of
Fix
caught
your
that.
process so this doesn't happen again. But I appreciate your efforts so far. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. As far as
Yeah.
that goes. But even dealing with people. So my shop, where my town is at, it's called Pottstown. It's very diverse. I mean, we have old people, black people, white people, Spanish, Italian, whatever. So you have to blend a little bit for your different process. Like if my buddy comes in, yo man, what's up? What's going on, dude? But
Right.
then if your father comes in, hey Mr. Brown, how you doing today, sir? Like I'm not
Right.
gonna walk into your father and be like, yo, what
What
up,
up,
dude?
dog? Yeah.
He's gonna
Get
be like,
knocked
what
out
kind
of
of
him.
man? What kind of man is this? Where like he's an older man, so it's gonna be, hey, Mr. Brown, how you doing today, sir? How can I help you? What's
Exactly.
going on? What's the problem? Well, no, yes, sir, no problem. And he's gonna resonate with that more differently. If I did that to Chi, he's gonna go, this guy's fake.
Why are
That's
you talking to
inauthentic.
me like that?
Yeah, like come on, we're the same age,
Who
dude.
that? What?
So you
Exactly.
kind of so you kind of have to also blend to where your people are at, and then meet
Know
them
your
where they're at,
audience.
and then
no,
old people want that relationship. Older people, where like the younger Gen Zs, I can text the lockbox and put them in the key. They don't want to talk to me.
Yeah. No words. That's too many words, ma'am. But the
no, no,
older
Yeah,
people, they want to show you a picture of the granddaughter, and I am so excited when it's happening. How's the dog? How did the vet visit go that you had last time you were here? Because
and
everybody wants to be known. Was it seen, known, and loved?
and
no,
even in
so
the repair business, so in the body business, it's easy to show you that Mercedes was busted up. And you go like, look at it now; it's fixed. It's pretty.
Yeah.
You get your car back, and we changed some fluids and put some brakes on. What did you get?
Right.
no, what
So
was
it's a
that? So the one thing I want to bring up, right? It's like a lot of times, right? People say, "Oh, we got to compete with the dealer with with equipment, right?" As simple as being more personal doesn't cost us a single dime. You know,
mm-mm.
it's that personal relationship. Your shop could look like shit, but if you're a really cool dude, like I actually want to tell you guys a quick story. So some odd years ago, we went to this comic book store. It was nice and clean. Went in there, me, my son, and my brother-in-law. Nobody even greeted us. They were there. They saw us walk in. Uh, I think I ended up buying a book or something. Did not really, got that vague like, thank you. Like I don't give a shit. All right, fine. We went to another one nearby, right? The place looked run down as hell, right? You walk in there, hey guys, how you guys doing? This and that. You know what? They were open for 7 years. We were in there damn near weekly, right? It just like the place. I mean, like over time, it got a little nicer, but it's the fact is like, well, we were treated nicely here, so I'm gonna spend my money here. The other place is nice, but dude, you
No
can't even say
personality.
hello. Yeah,
Right.
and
And
I
that's the
think a
thing with
lot.
our that's
No,
the
no,
thing with our shops though. That's the shop. Like, what do you do differently? You have Techmetric. You sell Nokian tires. You offer this type of oil. Chi does this. Nick does this. Nobody. I don't think anybody has a secret sauce. None. I don't think the three of us have any personal. The only personal advantage will be we have a building that's unique, and us, we're unique, and the people that are unique. But we could all sell the same tires, offer the same oil, have the same Hunter alignment rack. What makes us different?
What makes you
Us.
stand out?
because this business is not like where it's a certain recipe. Like you go to McDonald's for a Big Mac because it's a specific taste. There's no proprietary information in this business. I mean, so what makes
Right.
it stand
But
out?
I think all shop owners should ask themselves, whoever's listening right now, whether you have a shop or actually, I have come to learn that other people other than shop owners are listening to the podcast. So that's exciting.
Well, that's awesome.
Whatever business you're in right now, whatever, if you're self-employed, you work with somebody else, what makes you different? What makes you stand out? That's going to be the difference in you making a sale or not. What is you, what is your what is your thing? What makes people come back to see you? For me, I think about my favorite dive bar that I go to up the street. That place, it is run down. I mean, the bathrooms, you need to have some good glutes and some good thighs to be able to balance yourself to to go to the
I love her.
bathroom as a woman. Like if the bathroom is dirty, it's not filthy, but it's just like questionable. Like, whoa, don't touch nothing. I walk in that door right now. If I go in there, I'm going to go there after my next pod. Go in there as soon as I walk in. Hey, girl, what you want? You're here for your Tito's and pineapple? Yes, I am. What are you eating today? You eating the wings or you eating the shrimps? I'm eating all of them, the wings and the shrimpuses. Give them all. Like you walk in and they make you feel like you're the only person in that bar. And
That's
it is
awesome.
a motley crew of people in there. There's some weirdos in there, and I feel like the rest of the weirdos. So loved. Hey girl, where the
That's awesome.
boys? Just stuff like that. Where are the boys? Where are you traveling to next? This, that, and whatever. I'm like, I feel so special up in this little raggedy bar. And
yeah,
that's why
yeah.
that's why I go back. And if they
Well,
messed up my order today, you know what I'll say? Girl, this is not the sauce I wanted for these wings. I'm going to eat it anyway because I'm not going to waste your money because I appreciate you that much. So if they make a mistake, I am not going to throw them under the bus. Just like you said, the parts guy made a mistake. Thank you so much. Um, that's not what I ordered, but I don't want to throw it away for any food. I don't want to waste your money. I appreciate you. I will go back again. But think about it, if you're everyday shop and you're doing everything like everybody else and there's nothing that makes you stand out and you make one mistake with that client, why
you're
would they
done.
come back to you? They don't know you. You don't ask them about the kids. And I know people are going to think this is stupid. They don't know your name. They don't know your kid's name. They don't know the technicians in the back. They have no loyalty to you. You messed up their car. You fixed it. Yeah, you apologize, but why are they coming back? They're going to come back to me because they respect me, they love me, they know me, and they want to support my business. So you have to make yourself stand out. You have to know that I'm doing the best job I possibly can for you. Your customer's going to have to believe that. And if they don't, they just think you're another dealership or another independent shop, then there's no need for them to come back. So you got to make people want to keep coming back. And that's my rant.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Like I have people coming from all across the city.
Yeah.
So like for multiple reasons. Well, some people come to me. I they say, well, I don't want to wait 6 hours at Pepper's. Well, no, a lot of them. Let's say they come to something as simple as a state inspection. They end up staying for 3 hours because we just shooting a crap,
Yeah.
about different things in life. Da 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 da. And it happens more than you think. I'm talking about like there's a lot of shops in Philly. I mean, like within my 5 mile radius. Not even 5 mile, even 1 mile. You could, it's probably more shops than fingers.
It,
You
I
know,
saw that when we were
yeah,
doing the Google stuff together. I was like, man, I can't believe how many there are. He's not
but
kidding.
a lot of the owners like okay, like on Friday, I wanted to bang my head against the wall. Anyway, I had to go to an exhaust shop. And I go there, the guy was okay, he's cool, he helped me out. But literally there was nothing but shops there. Like the whole complex was shops. Not once did a guy even greeted me or anything, not that I needed to, but it was just like, they see how I'm dressed, they know what I do, but it's just like, hey bro, how's business? But like it's just like but as a customer, like this is how I was, right? When you walk into a shop that you don't know them, you're uncomfortable already. And bring them a little bit of comfort. That's why I try to do. Like sometimes, let's say Nick walks into my shop, he's wearing an Eagle shirt. I'm like, oh, you watched the game last night? Like you got to break the ice somehow and make feel comfortable. Or like it could be anything. Or you see them wearing an anime shirt. Like you don't know have to know the subject 100%. but somewhat pick on something. See, or like if you see the area code they call from, oh, where you from?
Right. Find a
Like
way to connect.
right, find a way to connect. Or let's say like someone's from Texas. Oh, hey, my brother lives in Texas. This and that. Or like sometimes you could tell what these people do. You could tell somebody is in healthcare. You could just tell from the way they look. I don't know, something about it.
Yeah.
But oh, hey, what do you do? Da, 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 and I feel like the whole industry is just so focused on KPI, ARO, da 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 da. Yeah, the ARO today for that customer might not look great, but it's a way for them to test you. Now, what's the lifetime ARO going to be? And this is how I look at it, right? Especially
Absolutely.
for younger people, right? I'm like, all right, I started dealing with you, and it actually has happened. I started dealing with you when you're 25. Now you're 40. Now you have kids. Now you have a wife. So I'm getting a second car. When your kids grow up, I'm going to get a third and fourth. And if their kids grow up, if they're still in the area, maybe I get a fifth. But that's how I look at it. It's not like it's like I always look a little long term compared to short term. That's me personally. Nothing against the guys that do the short term. But like I recently had a girl actually like she doesn't come to me like that. But she's like calling me so I went to Midas get a oil change done and they told me I need control arms. I'm like, send me a picture, because they do DVI. And I don't even do DVIs. Not at all. I tell people straight up, I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you the shit that you don't need. But that's me personally. But I looked at the control arms, I'm like, you don't need control arms. And I think it was like a light bulb moment for her. And then recently, last week I had a Prius. It was the same thing. It was so needed control arms by
Your
Midas.
control all day.
I'm like everything there needs control arms. And
Moog
I'm
had a
like,
discount where if you sold so many, you got some money back.
I don't
That's
know, but
their control on feast.
Seriously.
anyway, it's just like I feel like we need to focus a little bit more on building a little more trust with our consumers, and I think it goes a long way because there have been customers that I started out and they're a little wary of every time they deal with a new mechanic, and over time they are approving the $1,500, $2,000 bills like it's
Yeah.
nothing.
You've built the trust. You've built the
Yeah,
trust with them. So yeah.
without a single DVI.
Yeah, I never used DVIs either. So
Well,
that's
I
funny.
do. It works for me because my community, everybody does DVI. So if I don't do them, they're like, "Well, why are you not showing my
No,
stuff?"
no,
But
it works.
as far as for me, it works for me.
I would
It
I
works
would
for
like
us
to do them
very
in the
well.
future. I would like
Yeah.
to do them in the future though. So
No, it does work. I used to do it, but as I had to, like I said, I was going in with so much debt.
Right.
I had to scale back to basics. Like I tell people, the Chi Auto Repair from back then, even though it's the same exact name, it's I treat it as a new entity. That's how I treated it because I had the bootstrap. Even though I had all the equipment, and everything, I had the bootstrap. Like like when people talk about Techmetric, I even bitch at Nick. I'm like, Nick, you started from zero. What the hell you need Techmetric for? You know, I'm like, I'm using VFP shop management, $65 a month for the past 5 years. It's writing me invoices just fine.
It's working for you. Yeah.
Right. But I'm saying like now, if you see the need that you really need to go to Techmetric, different story. But
Different story.
like I was telling Nick recently, I'm like, bro, you haven't made a dollar yet. You can't go spending dollars that you don't have.
You don't know how much money Nick got.
I know, but I'm just saying, like you
Makes
know,
sense. Yeah, don't get too big for your britches. Don't go in
but
debt trying to impress other people. But
to
also,
your
you
point,
still have to spend money to make money.
But
you
to your
do.
point, I'm going around looking for free desks, free filing cabinets. Like because the back office doesn't matter. The front office, they left the desk there. That's pretty. You got to make them.
Yeah.
You got to spend money on the front office because that's your presentation. But my back office, I got free desks, free filing cabinets, free this. Chi gave me some free stuff to help out with. And then to your point, certain things, it's like, all right, I can get a used headlight aimer because for inspection, I don't need that. But then I don't want to get a Timu tire machine. Like, what I mean? So there is
No,
that where do I spend my money at where instead of maybe a new John Bean, I'd rather have a used Hunter because a hunter's better. You know what I mean? Stuff. So there's those things where we're kind of looking at where do I save money? Like the laptop I'm using right now, I'm going to bring that to the shop. That's going to be my back office laptop, so I can buy a new computer. So there are things like that. My wife had a printer here at home that she didn't use. I brought that to the shop. That's the back office printer. So there is those things where it's like, how can we bootstrap this and do this affordably? Because you're right, there's only so much to spend. I don't have cheap money.
Cheap money.
It's
That's what we're
some
gonna call it. Cheap money.
it's something
That's
else.
your
Let me
rap
tell
name.
you.
He's got it.
He acts like he don't have it, but like you want to see that bed would be a lot lower on the ground if he didn't have the money underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, that's mattress money, man. It's different.
That mattress money.
No,
He's got his
no,
first dollars.
no. So this is really getting it wrong, right? This is what I always tell people, right? Money is one thing, but your health, that's a whole nother. That's a
Yes,
whole
yes,
nother
sir.
story. So as long as you're healthy, like I came to peace with it because when I ran the bigger operation, I was under so much stress. I mean, daily. Tonnika, you know what I'm talking about. I
Yeah.
was under so much stress. You see your bank account money is evaporating. That I literally think I was gonna have a heart attack one day. So hence, like I'm very hesitant to grow because it's not just the money concern. Money comes and goes. It's the health concerns I have as well because you're gonna be under a lot of stress again. Maybe I'll manage it differently, but I have to be very careful with it. Because I'm older than what I was already. So it's like it's a double edged sword. Do you stay stagnant? Grow a little bit, or do you go all out? And then I missed out on a lot of things with my kids as well. So it's a double edged sword. Now it's very hard to balance, but as I talked to a lot of old people, and I will always get the same answer. The regret is that they work too much. So you know, there's a reason why they're telling me this. Same reason why I tell people, hey, Nick knows I talk a lot about investing, about generational wealth, how to build it. Because even though I don't have it, but the numbers, if the numbers are right, but y- like I will tell Nick these things, like about generational wealth, how to build for your kids, But I'm like, whether your kids become wealthy or not, it doesn't matter to me. My life doesn't
Healthy
change.
versus wealthy.
So
Right.
it is funny
Are
you
they
say
going to
that.
come to show up for Christmas? Are they coming to Thanksgiving dinner? Are they going to talk to you again?
It's funny you
Yeah.
say that, even with like the wealth stuff. So I'm renting an apartment, right? But I had to have a 2017 Cadillac CT6, 3 years old, for five something a month, right? But I'm living in an apartment, but I had to have a Cadillac. You know what I mean? So then I bought my house. Now my house was the worst house on the block thing. It needed work. It was terrible. I could talk about my house and how terrible it was, but it's a lot better than it was now. But no, but it was great though because of our housing market. I was able to put the sweat equity and make it nice. Well, around this time, I was like, I got to cut expenses. This was 2022, where car market was still high. There's this place around here called Auto Lenders. They bought my car. Basically, they met me at the shop. They gave me a check, and it worked out that I had that car like 2 years or so, and it cost me $250 a month to have that car. That's what it cost me, and I ended up doing oil changes, tires, because my wife hit a pothole and I had to replace all four because it's all wheel drive. But I really didn't put much into it, like well, whatever. The issue was why I didn't like Cadillacs was the front wheel drive unit went bad, broke the drive shaft. It was during COVID. Now I had it was GM certified. They didn't want to give me a loaner at first. I had to fight for that. I was in a loaner for 2 months because they couldn't get parts for this CT6. They ended up putting a used one in, and I said I was fine with it as long as I guaranteed it. And then it had the GM transmission shutter, and then my warranty was going out. So I was like, I just had to get rid of it. Like it was just a bad situation. I was worried about future repairs, the cost. I had to cut expenses. So I got this '03 CRV for free. Free. Chi likes free. He loves that word. And I was like, I'm going to fix it up. I'll drive it. Now I might have 2,500 over the. I've had it. I'm going on year 4. August to be 4 years. I said 2 years, but God willing, it's going to 4. And I don't have a payment. Now I went from a
Yeah.
17 Cadillac CT6, the premium one with the heated seats, the cooled seats. It was a Cadillac. It was black. It was beautiful. To a POS Honda CRV. And you know what? I'm happy. It does not bother me. I
Right.
have a I have one of those Bluetooth things so I can listen to my phone. I don't even have CarPlay in it. Gee,
Been
it's
there, done
great.
that. I ain't doing
No,
it
but
no more.
I explained
If
this
I
to my
had to, I would do it. But yeah, been there, done that. People
I
talk
ex-
about my truck, and I say nobody say anything about my 2002 Camry, Smokeisha.
right,
That I
right.
was rolling in forever.
Smoky shit.
That's I like the
Smokeisha,
name.
yeah,
I
yeah.
explained this
She
to
start up in the morning.
and then my wife, I bought a '08 Honda Accord from Chi, and one of his customers, I think they put a Cloy's timing chain in it and it messed up, so he rebuilt the engine. It has 140 some thousand miles. I had to put some money into it, of course,
Yeah,
but that's what it is. We got two cars with no payments. Now, yes, we both want new cars. And there was a time where me and my wife were like, could we afford it? They were just like, nah, I don't want the payment.
you don't want the
And
payment. Yeah,
we didn't want
that's
the
how I feel
payment.
about changing my house. I'm like, you don't want another house? No, I don't want to pay for another house.
But
No,
the other
it's paid
part
for.
is like we're saying happy, where I explained this to my son, like we can go out to eat. We can go do this. We're not, why do we need that car? Who am I impressing? Like, I'm good. Now, do I want to, if God willing, I could get another car one day when I'm making more money and the shop's established, I will like that. But does it have to be a brand new car? Absolutely not. But until then, I'm fine. It doesn't need. So I'm buying a Cadillac to impress who, and I'm paying all this money and I can't go do stuff. So it's just sitting in the driveway anyway because I can't go out and do anything. So what's the point? And was I
You
really
want to get
happy?
your Cadillac again?
No.
What's going to be your next car when you get it? When you make it?
What
What
would I
is it? If
get?
you had everything to go buy, what would you go get?
So you know what I would get? Like if I got my wife a car, I would get her now the 2023 and older. I would get her the Lexus GX 460. Not
Okay.
because it's a Lexus, because it's a solid unit. They're old school, they're body on frame, and now that's something I would buy her, and she would know we're keeping this for the long term because they go 300,000 miles. So I'm thinking more that way. Myself, I don't know what I would get. Like, but I would get her one of those because I know that it doesn't have transmission issues like the Tahoes do. It doesn't have the engine issues like some of the newer GMs do. It doesn't have turbo. It doesn't have a turbo, which the turbo issues have with some of the newer cars. Like I was be looking for something that would last her. Because I told her, I said, babe, I showed her, I said, that's what I would get you because she was asking me. I was like, you'd keep that 10 years, you know?
You guys are
And then,
great. I got on 1 o'clock. I'm going to shut you up. Shut up.
yeah, you're good.
I've
Go
never
You're good.
ahead, Nick.
recorded this long with somebody.
Well,
Because
We've been
Chi's
talking for
the
like an
man.
hour and 50 minutes. This was fun.
we're clowns.
So
You
my,
guys are clowns.
so I don't know what I would get myself. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I got my
It's
dream car. What are you getting, Chi?
me. I'm getting shit.
I always wanted a Mercedes, but doesn't mean I'll get it.
Oh, so
Yeah.
real quick before we cut it off, right?
What's
So
up?
me and Nick went to the auto show a couple years ago. He got me in for free. I love free. Anyway,
Okay.
so I'm looking at this Toyota 4Runner and I'm like, yeah, the TRD Pro. And I look
With
at
a
him like,
widow waddle? You want a widow waddle for your TRD Pro?
yeah. Anyway, so I'm looking at it. He's like 60 grand. So I look at Nick. I'm like, yeah, I'll get the 12 years from now.
That's always the
The
joke.
same model?
Yeah, the same one.
That'd be
You know?
nice in 2032. Like that was always an ongoing joke with us when we see a car. Yeah, 2032, I'll buy one of those.
No. So listen. I always tell people, I love cars, but it's a depreciating asset. As I got older, I think about retirement a lot. I know I'm 45, but this is what a lot of people don't think about. Regardless in automotive or whatever, it's like, yeah, we see we all three of us have seen older people come in and they can't afford to fix their cars.
Mm.
You know, I would hate to be that guy. And you feel absolutely horrible, but you're like, I have a business to run. Like I can't be giving away stuff, even though you want to. We're kind people, but we can't give away stuff for more business like that. So I always tell people, including Nick, I'm like, dude, we gotta set up something for your retirement, regardless of what you can, because like if it's done right, and nowadays even with AI, I have to just go on Google Gemini. Let's say you invest XYZ a month. How much would you get a month at retirement? It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I'm talking about
And
like
you guys
very,
are at the age where you should definitely be doing that. You've got to
right, but
start
but
early.
but it's very pedestrian numbers. It's very doable numbers. I even show my son. I have showed my friend the past week, and his mind was blown. And he's 34. I'm like, you better get on top of this. 'Cause you could literally retire multi millionaire if done right. And,
That's
and
amazing.
yeah, this is, and like to be real quick, a lot of the shop owners, including the ones I know. Well, actually, well, I wouldn't say all of them, but this was actually taught by another shop owner. But like stuff like set IRAs, that actually helps us offset costs for the business as well and benefit ourselves are not being implemented. And it's just
It's,
in general, people are so
and are you going to miss that $50 a week?
No,
No.
no,
no.
no, no.
Yeah.
But I think this is not very talked about in the industry. They offer 401k with a 3% match, right? So let's say Nick puts in 100, right? So you give Nick $3. Well, you're better off. It'd be more stronger sell if it was a set IRA where Nick gets 100 a week instead of $3 a week. You know, and
Hmm.
another thing is like some people don't like it, but whatever. But I'm all for it. So the Trump account where the business could contribute 2,500 to a family, like an employee of the family to start their kids' retirement. That's something I'm going to do, and I actually talked to somebody about it as well in the industry. But since everything's still a little vague, but I'm just saying, like these are things that we could apply to create these wealth builders, and it also as an employee benefit. So let's say I hire Nick and he has two kids. Well, his son is a little older, so it wouldn't really apply so much. But anyway, so for his daughter, let's say I'm gonna, hey Nick, just to get you on board, I'm gonna contribute 2,500 to your daughter's Trump account. And I know not everybody's a fan of Trump, but like I feel like it's a great tool. You know, that's just,
People come in happy because they're not worried about money. Maybe they're not doing side work because they don't feel like they have to. So it could create a better work
yeah,
environment that and there might be loyal to you too. Like, yo, she's taking care of me. I don't want to leave.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Nick, shut up. Let Tonnika finish, bro.
No,
Oh, I
I'm
was
She
done.
got.
I'm listening to you.
Uh,
You're the teacher right now.
oh, you're the teacher.
You're the teacher right now. But yeah, employee benefits are being, I mean, I think some
Sorry,
people are
Nick.
just not, they don't know how to do it and they don't think they can afford to do it. 401k,
No.
RA, health insurance, death, life insurance, disability, all of those little things that you could add on to an employee package. A lot of shop owners just don't know how to do it.
I
So,
mean,
because again, you've got everybody's not as smart as she, because they're not, but this doesn't
I'm
mean
not
that they're
smart.
wrong. It's just that they just don't know that if you just raise that labor rate by another dollar per 50 per RO, per labor hour, then you can afford to offer your employees things like that.
Well, like health insurance is hard to offer. That's a fact. That's a
Yeah,
fact. It's
I've
very
offered
expensive.
it 60%,
Right.
but
It's
what's
very
really
hard.
hard to offer? Trying to find a new tech.
Right.
yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
what I'm saying, like a SEP IRA,
hmm
that is literally two sheets of paper.
So yeah, something someone can start with makes sense, and they can
Right.
build
Right.
to bigger and
And most
better.
payroll companies, it's so cheap to set up. It's like $30 an employee per year. That's what the payroll company I'm using told me to set up the SEP IRA would be. She goes, we can do it all through it. She goes, it's $30 an employee a year to set up. That's the fee to do it. So it's like that's a joke.
Well, like I think the SEP IRA. I think Steve Roberts is the one that told me about it. I mean, it did take me 2 years to actually act on it because remember I was in a lot of debt. But
Taxes.
now thinking back, I should have just even with the debt, I should have
You
started
should
it.
have just do it. Just do it.
Started it. Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, even as little as let's say I work for Tonnika and Tonnika is just starting the shop. Hey, I see that business. Is starting off, but Tonnika gives me $25 a week for my SEP IRA. It's the appreciation. I feel like it's like the employee's gonna see. Hey, they trying, but like I was telling Nick, I'm like, hey, let's say for Christmas, right? Instead of giving them a bonus, hey, maybe you'd be like, hey, we're gonna toss each of you guys $500 into your set IRA.
But you know what the thing is? A lot of technicians would be mad.
Yeah, I want the
They would
cash.
be mad because I want the cash. They think they want the cash. They don't understand how much of a gift that you're giving them that can potentially grow into so much more.
Or could you
Oh, no,
do
no.
both?
A lack of financial literacy. They don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. But
They
Living
don't
for
know.
today.
well, I think you should make it an option. Maybe make it because giving cash is a little hard to write off than a 500 on the set. It's a win for the business and literally it is a win for the employee as well. But not everybody sees it that way.
Or you could
of
make it
course.
sweet. Hey, it's 500 in cash, but 600 in your SEP IRA. I'm just talking out loud. Something stupid
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
Because then they might
There's
go,
always a way.
Because
All right,
Yeah.
guys.
my mom
What do you
does
say?
that with my kids. She does that
Yeah.
with my kids. So she gives them money. She goes,
Next, you
if
gotta
you
go.
put money in the account, we'll match. So that's why I brought that up.
That is smart.
Yeah.
I wish my grandma would say, Grandma, give me some, match my money. She
Match my money.
All right. Match my money.
All right.
Well, it was great. It was
All right,
great.
Ren and Stimpy, this was great. Like, I've never had a podcast recording go for 2 hours, and it was all great content.
You
And
gotta
I
get
think you guys should
Steve on
speak
there.
up in the ASOC group a lot more.
We
You got
gotta
so
get
much. You got so much good stuff to say.
You gotta get Steve on here. It'd be funny.
Yeah, Steve would be funny.
You think Steve would be funny? All right,
Also,
let's send him a message.
Steve is
Let's group text him and attack him and get him to come on.
He's a smart guy. I've learned some stuff from him already, too, in my
Yeah.
limited conversations with him. He's
All
good.
right.
and
Let me get
Steve.
Steve on.
You know what? Get Steve and Matt Vaughn. It'll be
Together?
hilarious. Oh yeah, it'll be hilarious.
Okay, I got you. Writing it down. All right, guys. Say bye.
Yeah.
See you later.
ya.
Thank you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Okay.
Oh, hey. Did you like that episode? Ready for the next one? Click here. And if you want to be a part of my cool auntie tribe, the Downshift crew, make sure you subscribe right there. Remember, The Downshift is a podcast where we talk about slowing down to speed up. Please like and follow, and we'll see you next time.